Hi, I'm Leopoldine and welcome back to the Mindful Shift podcast. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you are joining our tribe. This podcast is designed to empower you and help you create your best life. Are you ready to overcome any obstacles between you and your manifestation? I know it's the case. Coaching with me is now available on my website and link is in the description down below the video. Now, in today's episode, I have an important message to answer many comments I see often. Please stop quitting on yourself all the time. Stop giving up. I know it can be frustrating when you feel or see or have the impression that nothing is moving just yet. After a few days or even few weeks, which isn't a lot, or even 1 month or 2. But really, giving up is not the answer. And I get it. Some of you feel resistance when you are doing your technique to manifest whatever you desire, and no matter the technique you do. But truth is, do you know what helps going through your resistance? Usually, repetition. Just doing your technique. And doing it even more if needed, when you need it. And seriously, unless you make it a rule for yourself, don't expect results overnight. Because the first things to change usually is how you think and how you feel. For many of you, that will be that first. You will think differently and you will feel differently about your desire. And until that is happening, just repeat your technique. And of course, you can make it a rule for yourself that you manifest instantly. But again, you need to create that rule first for yourself. And for that, again, repetition. Exactly the same thing that manifesting anything else in your life. And while manifestation is perfect and promised, as long as you are your thought aligned with what you want being yours, it is a promise. But there is no time set for when you should stop doing your technique. Usually it's when you get your manifestation, your full manifestation. But even though, I would advise you to continue a bit after for a few days. Because anyway, if you think it and continuously choose the version of yourself that has what they want, it has no choice but to be true for you. You just need to stick with your technique a bit longer. It has no choice but to become true. If you stick with it, if you're consistent, and honestly, even a few weeks or even a couple of months, it's not that long. Once you will get what you want, you won't care anyway. So just keep persisting. Push through your resistance. Stop giving up so easily on yourself. You won't care so much about how long it took once you got it. And besides, focusing on the time it takes to be manifested is literally also a state of mind. You're choosing to stay in the state of mind or it takes so long. Change that too. Because you're just creating more time and delay doing so. And for most of you, it's not only about repetition. Because you're doing your technique, you're investing in your manifestation, in staying in the state of mind when you're doing your technique. But then, the rest of your day, you are wavering. And manifestation, the hardest part is about consistency and discipline. You need to not be so much conflicted inside yourself. Because when you keep going back and forth like that in your head, one moment thinking it's yours, one moment thinking it's not, and it's not maybe gonna to happen, and how it's going to happen, and it is impossible, and questioning literally everything. Questioning yourself and your abilities too. That's a conflict in your mind. That's having an argument with yourself. And it just had more delay to your manifestation doing so. And until you balance that and you tone down this conflict, well, movements follow, they don't precede. So when you see movements, it means you're getting into that state of mind more and more. And your reality is proving you what you're doing works and you need to persist. Signs and movements follows. They don't precede. And the longer it takes you for you to focus on what you want being yours instead of the opposite and questioning yourself constantly, well, the more it had delays, obviously. And the more you will have to push through day by day. So again, there is no deadline for when you need to stop your affirmations or technique. There is no deadline for when you will see movements. Manifestation is perfect. Everything is always moving to prove you're right. And you need to keep that in mind. But everything also will move to feel natural for you. Yes, you should totally put pause and take a step back when you notice you're constantly going back and forth. in your mind. And for most of you, that's what exhausts you. That's what makes you feel so tired that you feel tired to do your technique. That's that conflict. That's the fact that you're constantly wavering back and forth. That is what is really tiring, so to speak. And it's normal to experience it the first few hours or first few days. But if you consistently correct yourself, it should disappear. Bit by bit, you should less and less have that conflict. So if you notice that you're doing your technique every day, you show up, and then you're constantly switching back and forth to your old patterns of thinking, or even your current circumstances, accepting them as true, putting your focus on it, or thinking consistently about what you don't want, basically. Please stop. You can't continue this way. It is really what exhausts you. It is exhausting to go back and forth like that in your mind, isn't it? And honestly, as I experienced, there will be a time in your own journey when you will be so done with this, with the old version of yourself. You will be so much done that you'll be like, hell no, I don't want to be like that again. I don't want to think like that again. I'm so done with this. We're not going back this way. We're not doing that anymore. I'm done. And that time, but please do it before, you will start to stop wavering or correcting yourself or being more aware to correct yourself as much as you need to until it goes away, because it will anyway if you correct yourself. Because in a couple of days or weeks, it should literally be less than it was at first and almost inexistent. So if you're consistent, that wavering will disappear. That pattern in your mind won't happen again. And you really need that through your day when you're not doing your technique, to keep your thoughts aligned with what you want. Anytime you think about your manifestation, jump up to your technique if you need to at first. That's what it's for, to help you stay aligned with what you want being yours. Choose thoughts aligned with what you want being yours, at least. That's all you need to do. And the more you will do this, the more it will be easier to return to that new chosen state of mind. It's like training your mind to think another way. Muscle training, same thing. It will really make all the difference, because in a couple of days, sometimes even hours or weeks, you won't think the same way. You won't feel the same way either. If you felt needy, desperate at first, you won't in a couple of days or weeks. It will literally change. It has to, because feelings follows what you think the most of. And please stop making excuses for yourself. Stop finding any excuses with your circumstances. Stop finding any excuses of what is happening in front of you. And stop finding excuses as I have too much resistance. Please don't do that. Don't focus on your resistance or what you think is resistance, as you will focus on how long it takes. Don't do that to yourself. I know sometimes, at first especially, it can feel tough. And it's literally going out of your comfort zone. So that's the hardest part. But it doesn't have to be once you're used to do it. And yes, sometimes for some subjects, we have more resistance to those. And we need to push through. But it will become easier with a bit of time if you give it. And sometimes, just doing and being consistent for a couple of weeks or just 1 month, it's not enough. You need to continue. You need to persist. Do it for yourself, because you deserve it, right? You deserve what you want. You really need to keep going for it, to persist until you have your full manifestation entirely and you feel confident in that moment. And maybe a few days later, that it's your new identity. This is going to stay anyway, because this is who I am now. This is always what I experience now. That's my new reality and I believe it. That's when you will believe it too. When you believe it and it's fully manifested. So stop second-guessing yourself constantly. Your technique is here to help you do just that. Stopping second-guessing yourself. That's all you need to do, Daddy. You don't have to worry about the how. You don't have to worry about the detail or how it will happen. You just have to take care of your thoughts. That's all you need to do. Manifestation is perfect and take care of all the rest for you. All you have to do is keep your thought in checks. And really, it's not that it's not working or that it's taking too long. We all know by now, but there is nothing to change but self. It's just nothing is going to click and fall into place until you commit to it fully and entirely. And that you stop quitting and changing your mind all the time. If you're contradicting yourself, your reality will be contradictory too. Like, this is literally a mirror. If you're standing your ground and standing firm, then your reality will show you what you're standing firm for. It has no choice but to. You really need to break that habit of going back into your old pattern thoughts. And if you really want to change something in your reality, anything really, you need to keep flipping those thoughts, flipping that mindset, and choose again that new identity. Those new thoughts align with what you want. That's your only job. And you do it as many times as you need to, especially at first, the first few days or weeks. Who cares if it feels like you're doing too much? You want what you want, right? So you're willing to put in the effort and the work into it. Because what really matters in the end is that you're getting what you want. And every single day, you're getting closer and closer and closer to get it. Just because you align your thoughts with it. Each and every single time. Until it feels natural. Until it is so natural that it's evident for you that it will be. That it is already. And I know that you will agree with me on this. I know you will. Because deep down you know it's worth it. Otherwise you wouldn't desire or have manifested it in the first place. Right? You won't think about how many times you needed to flip those thoughts or come back to your technique or change your mindset or choose again. You won't mind all of this once you get what you want. It won't matter anymore. You just be happy to have your manifestation, to have what you want, literally. And I see a lot of you in the comments getting hot and cold movement behavior. And like I said, if you're inconsistent, your reality will be inconsistent too. That's exactly the hot and cold behavior. No matter what you are manifesting, it's for any manifestation. And for some of you, it's like you're getting some results, some movements, your reality is proving you're right in showing you, okay, buddy, persist, we got this now. We're moving things through. And suddenly, just because some of you get a little movements, you're like, oh, I did it. I got my manifestation. And you're suddenly lacking focus. And you're not keeping as much your thought in check. You're getting caught up in the 3D reality, in what you are experiencing, putting all your power in it, and you let your guard down doing so, forgetting you are the one in charge, the one in power, not your 3D reality. And then suddenly, because of that, things start to slip back or going opposite to what you want entirely. And you start questioning like, why? Why is it happening? I don't understand. And the truth is, if you don't keep your thoughts consistent, and if you are not expecting, or even at this point believing that your manifestation is going to stay in your life, you're literally going to still be inconsistent in your mind and so experimenting inconsistency in your reality as well. Your reality is just a feedback of your main thoughts. That's all it is. So even if you start to see huge movement on your job search, or even you start seeing big sum of money on your bank account, extra money coming in, continue your technique. Don't stop right there. Don't give up just yet. And even when you get your full manifestation, keep going for a bit, because you will get more proof and more proof and more proof, and then you will start to believe it. You will start to believe it is your new normal. It is your new identity. And at that point, that's when you stop. When you believe it, and only then. It's really about expecting and knowing that your manifestation will stick around. It's normal now. It's my new reality. It's my new identity. Of course it is. I always experience that. It's mine. It won't go anywhere else. It's believing and expecting for it to stay and not hoping it will. There is a difference. And for this, there is no deadline. But usually it's few days, maybe a week after your manifestation is fully entirely showed up. After you see few times, like a few more times, proof that it's real, that it's true for you now. And you believe it. And just because you've been working for weeks on your manifestation, that you're doing your technique and all, or even a month, that doesn't mean it's not working. If you don't see any movement just yet, it's always working as long as you think it is. As long as you align your thoughts with what you want, it is working. Everything is always working behind the scenes to prove you're right. And also, stop changing constantly techniques, affirmations. Stop changing constantly. Stick to one thing and be consistent with it. And stop being so frustrated to don't see instant results. We're all different. And if you didn't create that for yourself as a rule anyway, and like I said, stop finding for yourself excuses. Like, I have too much resistance anyway. No, you don't. You don't if you think you don't. This is just another excuse excuse for you to say it's impossible for me, I have too much resistance. No, stop that. Right away, stop that. When you say that, it's not working for me, that's an identity you choose to embody. Stop right there. Choose another state of mind right now. Because the easy way to get through the resistance, once again, is repetition and discipline. That's really all. It really changed the game when you do that. When you train your mind to think another way. Because repetition will help dissolve that resistance. No matter how much resistance you have, it will pass through. And if you keep doing your technique consistently every day until you know it's your new reality now, it has no choice but to prove you're right and to be yours already. You just need to continue until you see enough proof that you now believe it. And it doesn't matter if you don't believe it at first. It doesn't matter if it seems impossible. It doesn't matter how far it is to your current reality, your current circumstances right now. It doesn't matter. Everything and anything is possible for you. You are limitless. You totally can train your brain to accept that new way of thinking and that new reality you want to create for yourself. It is entirely possible, no matter how different it is to your current reality. Because your subconscious only believes what you keep telling yourself. And your subconscious will take it as true if you keep repeating that to yourself, no matter what it is and no matter if it seems impossible or you won't believe it. So imagining you want something that is the entire opposite of your current reality now. You want to be a millionaire and you're struggling with money. It's easy to start to feel overwhelmed by it and even thinking, no, it's impossible. How I will become a millionaire when I have barely anything on day to day? It cannot happen for me. No way it is gonna happen for me. But right there, that inner conversation is literally just resistance. It's resistance to your desire. And you totally can change that mindset, that state of mind. You can shift that for yourself. You don't need to stay in that state of mind if you don't want to. And all you need to do is choose new thoughts and repeat them, doing the technique of your choice. And when you think about it, that's how we learned anything since we were kids. That's how we learned. Our entire life we did that. We repeated and practiced something until it becomes easier and natural for us. At school, doing bicycle, anything, literally anything. Walking, and even if we fell, we rise up and keep doing it again, right? That's the exact same thing. It's like any new skill you learn. You keep training your mind to think differently. And if you're struggling to be consistent, to stick to your technique or new chosen thoughts, perhaps ask yourself if you really want what you want, if you want it bad enough. And it's okay if you don't. Sometimes we desire something, but not so much, and it's not that important. Because again, the more you will replace those opposite thoughts, that opposite state of mind, by choosing again and aligning with what you want being yours now instead, and choosing thoughts in your favor, then the more it will be easier and easier to do so. Like anything you repeat, really. And the less those opposite thoughts will be important, the less they will be coming and pop up. Because you can't serve two masters. You cannot think one thing and its opposite at the same time. You really need to choose moment by moment, every single day. And eventually, your subconscious mind will catch up and will be convinced and will start to offer you proofs in your reality. And then you will see more proof and more proof and more proof. And then you will start to believe it. It is now your new normal. It is now what you experience consistently. It really is that simple. Please stop complicating manifestation. You got this, bestie. Keep persisting. Push through. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember, it's not the end until you get what you want. Have an amazing week and take care of yourself. I see you in the next video. Bye!